Hey guys, you should be on page 130 in your workbook, page 130, and I bet you can already guess that we are still working on multiplication. And on this page, it asks us, what do you notice, what do you wonder? The first thing that I notice is that they got the same product. They got the same final product, which is just the answer to a multiplication problem. So they got the same answer. And I also noticed that they were multiplying the same two numbers, 417 times 28. But I wonder why they have this one, they have these upside down from each other, and their carryovers are different. And this one has 3 rows, and this one just has 2 rows. So let's start to look at why. They multiplied the exact same 2 numbers. So either way they work the problem, they will get the same final answer or final product. This one has 3 rows because if you remember all the problems we've been doing, we've put the smaller number on the bottom because it's just easier that way. And you have less steps to follow in your algorithm. But this one, they have 3 because if your bottom number has 3 digits, then you will be working with 3 rows. In this one, they put the smaller number on the bottom, which is always easier. So they were working with 2 digits on the bottom, so they would have 2 rows. The difference is this one has partial products that they multiplied from the bottom. This one has partial products that they multiplied from the top. So those are the differences in why. The carryovers are different numbers because if you flip these upside down, you're doing everything in reverse. So the carryovers are going to be different numbers. But that's how you can still come out with the same outcome. This one is always suggested because if you put the smaller number on the bottom, you will have less partial product steps. Okay, so moving on. The next page just tells us to find each product using standard algorithm. And don't forget, standard algorithm simply means standard steps. An algorithm is just the steps for a math problem. So they give us 647 times 9. Now I know that I'm only going to have 1 row. My answer is going to be done in 1 row because I'm only multiplying times 1 digit. So we multiply this number times this, then this, then this. So 9 times 7 is 63. So I would put my 3, carry over my 6. So there's my 63. 9 times 4 is 36. Plus 6 is 42. So 2, and I carry over the 4. There's my 42. 9 times 6 is 54. Plus the 4 I carried over would be 58. So my final product is going to be 5,823. The next one, they ask us to find the product of 647 times 50. And I'm going to put the smallest number on the bottom. Now, we're working with multiples of 10, aren't we? So we can do quick math and multiply the whole number parts that we see, and then at the end add how many multiples of 10 we had. So we can go 5 times 7 is 35. Carry our 3, so there's our 35. 5 times 4 is 20, plus the 3 that we carried is 23. So we carry over, there's our 23. 5 times 6 is 30, plus the 2 that I carried over is 32. And then we have to say, okay, How many multiples of 10 was I dealing with? Well, you have 1 0, which means you were dealing with one multiple of 10, so you would add 1 0 to your final answer. And you have 32,350. Now, the third problem. Well, the third problem asks us to find the product of 647 times 59. Well, we know that we could use standard algorithm to work that out. We have 600, let me draw a divider line. We have 647 times 59. Now, I know that I'm going to have two partial product rows. I can't do quick math because I'm not working with a multiple of 10. So I'm going to have to actually multiply each number times every number on top. Now, 9 times 7 we know is 63. So we carry our 6. 9 times 4 is 36. Plus the 6 that we carried is 42. We carry our 4. 9 times 6 is 54. Plus the 4 that we carried is 58. Now, let's look up here at this problem. Does it make sense that this number would be the same as the final product we got on that one? Yeah, because we were just multiplying that times 9, and that's the first step in doing the algorithm when you have two numbers. Then I multiplied this number. I need my placeholder 0 because I'm working with the second number over in the tens place, so it would be in the second row, and my math would actually start under the second number that's in the tens place. So 5 times 7 is 35, carry our 3. 5 times 4 is 20, plus the 3 that I carried is 23, carry my 2. 5 times 6 is 30, plus the 2 that I just carried is 32. And then I would add those two together. Well, look, this is the same exact as this partial product. And that makes sense because I was working with the 5, so that was the tens place, so that would be 50. I would be multiplying times 50. So there's where both of my partial products came from. So I know now if I add these two together, just like I would add those two together, it would give me 647 times 59. I ran out of space down here, so I'm just going to draw a little arrow right here. We would have 3 plus 0 is 3. 2 plus 5 is 7. 8 plus 3 is 11, so I would put my 1 and carry my 1. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus the 1 that we carried is 8. And finally, nothing plus 3 is 3. So my final product would be 38,173. And it would be that if I used the standard algorithm all together, or if I did partial product and added them together. Okay, the next problem asks us to multiply 264 times 38. Again, we know to start with that I'm going to have two rows right here because I'm multiplying times two digits. So we start with the 1 in the ones place. 8 times 4 is 32. So I put my 2 and carry over my 3. That gives me my 32. 8 times 6 is 48. Plus the 3 that I carried would be 51. So I put my 1 and carry my 5. There's my 51. 8 times 2 is 16. Plus the 5 that I carried is 21. Okay? Now, I'm going to start working with this second number. So I'm going to be in the second row, and I'm going to put a placeholder 0 here because I'm working with the second number over. That's in the tens place. So my actual math calculations need to start in the tens place. So we would have 3 times 4 is 12. Carry my 1. 3 times 6 is 18, plus the 1 that I carried. So what I would have 19. Carry my 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 1 that I just carried is 7. Now, I had 2 numbers, I have 2 rows, so that tells me it's time to add them together. Okay? Now, 2 plus 0 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 1 plus 9 is 10. So I put my 0 and carry my 1. I don't carry it up here because now I'm just adding down here. 2 plus 7 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So my final answer is 10,032.